Hey, what's up? Today is Tuesday the 19th of November. I have just completed my 34th flight and it was another milestone to get under my belt. I was able to fly from Tinson Pen to Sangster to Ian Fleming and then back to Tinson Pen all by myself. But let's talk about that more on the drive home. This flight has had a long time coming, but finally I was able to get it done and out of the way. I'm very proud of myself for being able to accomplish it. And again, I'm just that much closer towards my PPL. And you're going to hear me say that a lot as I get closer and closer, because each time you feel like you're about to get there, there's something else you realize that, hey, I could do that better, and then you end up spending time doing that better. However, right now it's just really an hour's requirement that's left. So as soon as I get those special hours out of the way, such as my night flying, then I'm on my way. Now, I wasn't able to get this flight done last week, so I actually missed a week in between when I did the dual flight and today's solo flight. And that's simply because based off how the schedule was already booked for last week, I wouldn't have been able to get a slot early enough to facilitate that long solo cross country. And it actually worked out because the weather really was not working last week. So today was probably one of the most perfect days ever you could fly. Skies were very clear, only a few clouds at very high altitude, so they weren't a factor to me at all. And I just really got to enjoy Jamaica, not just from the air but also as the pilot in command. I was able to just be by myself, be with my thoughts, and admire God's beauty all around me. This flight, of course, being the longest one, really instilled a lot of nerves within me, but I just kept using the same principle that I've always been using. My chief instructor has signed me off, my instructor has signed me off. All I need to do is sign myself off mentally and get the job done. That's all I need to do. And I did just that. And Father above, thank you so much once more for blessing me. I have been so blessed to be able to advance so much in this career. And I'm really, really grateful. Continue, Father, to guide me as I get closer to the finish line. In Jesus' name I pray, Father. Amen. So today I did just that. I was able to go the distance, go over 100 miles in cross country today, and it was really enjoyable. Just like in the dual flight, we went up to 6,500 feet. Actually, I went up to 6,500 feet because it's just me. Now, I had the exposure from the previous flight, which told me that, hey, it's going to be really chilly up at 6,500 feet. So I made sure I wore a long sleeve shirt today. I was thinking of just wearing a jacket, but it really would have been the best option because in the event of anything, I don't want an extra article of clothing that I'd have to take off or fiddle around with. So just a single long sleeve shirt, and I was able to bear through it. My hands weren't as warm, but hey, can't get everything. Now, this flight being as long as it was, there was a real consideration about carbon monoxide poisoning. We have maybe 3 indicators within the aircraft, but even then, I'm just constantly checking myself. Do I feel any of the symptoms? Do I feel any tightness in my forehead across the bridge of my face? Am I feeling any of those symptoms? And occasionally I would just open the window regardless to, be better safe than sorry. Now, praise be to God, I didn't have any symptoms. I didn't experience any sort of carbon monoxide poisoning as far as I know, and I was able to complete the flight in one piece. Now, out of today's 3 landings, I feel the landing at Ian Fleming was actually the best. The landing at Sangster was supposed to be a touch and go, and I quite literally flew it as a touch and go, as in I bounced it and I was trying to see if I could settle it back down, but after a while I was just like, nope, let me just go around, and that counted as my Sangster touch and go. It wasn't the prettiest, but hey, I made it there. I never get it there. I just had to work on the landing, and having the seat adjusted differently did not help because you can adjust this height on these seats, so I was up higher than I normally am. I need to find a way to have a consistent side picture. I don't know how, but I need to look up on YouTube or something and find a way to have a consistent side picture, so no matter how high the seat is, I know what I need to look for to get back my original side picture. Now, on my way to Ian Fleming now, it's really beautiful. It's also a very easy route because you have Highway 2000 right there, and that basically covers the entire North Coast. So if I really wanted to, I could follow that highway back to Tinson Pen if I wanted to, because it leads back to the Kingston area, the corporate area I should say. And there's just something about coming into land at Ian Fleming, and you have the waters off to your left, and you have a little steep approach over that hill. And normally I would expect Ian Fleming to be my worst landing, but today it was my best. I don't know, but I just greased it. And if you don't believe me, then of course I have the video that I recorded of the entire flight to upload eventually. Lastly, coming back to Tinson Pen, I was able to go through Stony Hill as we normally do. Unlike last flight where we had to go to the Yorktown Valley due to the clouds, this flight, clear skies, so I just went through Stony Hill and made it back. The landing at Tinson Pen, it was smooth in the sense of how I contacted the ground. However, it wasn't as controlled as I would have liked it. I kind of made the power get away from me during the flare, and I bounced a little. However, I kept the aircraft under control, and of course, we exited the runway in one piece. Then I shut down and got congratulated for another solo cross country. The major feedback I gave myself today was really to ensure that I can get a consistent side picture, because that side picture is what's going to determine when I do different inputs during the landing. Everything else was the standard, at least to myself. I was able to navigate from point A to B. I was able to identify 9 out of 10 waypoints, and I had a good time. I was very vigilant. I didn't feel behind of the aircraft at any point in time, and I made it back in one piece. That's all I can say about this flight. And it's kind of funny because you think that since it was such a big flight, you know, going across the island and everything, I would have more to talk about. But I feel anything I would have initially had to talk about would have already been talked about in my debrief from the dual flight. So unfortunately, there's not much left to do other than say that I did the same thing but by myself. And since that's all I have left to say for today, I want to thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, leave a comment as well. If you enjoy this type of content, remember to subscribe to my channel. If you want to learn more about becoming a pilot in Jamaica, if you have any feedback, leave it below in the comments, and I'll be glad to take it and improve the videos going forward. But other than that, my name has been Robert Watson. I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. Remember to always be improving. God bless.
Yeah. I only tell you the truth. I ain't got nothing to lose. Yeah, I gave my life to God and I'm still ballin'. Ain't nobody that can tell me I ain't all in. Late at night I hear the devil steady calling me. That's when I pray to the Father that He give me strength to fight these monsters.